Under the expected new policy, officials at the White House say those who do not show proof of vaccination will have to be tested frequently and wear masks. The president is also expected to include additional efforts and incentives to ramp up the pace of vaccinations as the Delta variant continues to spread. But there could be pushback. A union representing federal law enforcement officers says the president lacks the authority to force them to get vaccinated, calling it a clear civil rights violation. Health and education officials in Minnesota are making new recommendations as well for schools this fall after new guidance from the CDC. They say everyone 12 years old and older should get the COVID vaccine before returning to school in the fall. They also recommend everyone wear a mask in school buildings, regardless of vaccination status. Schools should also keep at least 3 feet of distance between students in the classroom, and children who are not vaccinated should be tested for COVID-19 on a regular basis. You can find the full guidance from health officials on our website. Just go to valleynewslive.com and click on this story. Cooler temperatures are finally here. Let's check in with meteorologist Lisa Green.
Good morning. It's nice to get a break from that intense heat combined with that humidity. That got a little rough yesterday and in preceding days as well. So getting in some drier air, unfortunately, that's coming in out of the north and it's bringing in that wildfire smoke directly at us from Canada. And so there are places really struggling this morning with low air quality. We have an air quality alert for basically all of Minnesota here in our view, including, of course, our counties in Minnesota. North Dakota, we are a little bit better off right now, but we'll see some of this smoke back in and we'll have some air quality issues as well, especially the closer we are to the Red River. I'm going to take a look at a DOT cam in the Baudette area. You could see that we can't see very well. We've got lower visibility with that smoke hanging around, creating that low air quality in Baudette. And in Fargo, the visibility is better near the camera here on our First Alert Skycam network, but that smoke to the east and above us, creating that haze and creating that orange sunrise, that little orange sun there showing up on our camera. So again, this is something we can expect to have some impacts on us this morning and through the day today. Here's a look at our visibility reports. Up in Baudette, we're at less than a mile. Roseau, Bemidji, Park Rapids, and Wadena all reporting some lower visibility. And that's an indication that we do have some of that smoke near the surface in these areas. And taking a look at our air quality index, monitors in parts of Minnesota indicating some unhealthy air quality, and even in purple, closer to Brainerd, in that very unhealthy category. Fargo, our monitor is not reporting any information right now, unfortunately, right when we need it. So we're kind of, I'm thinking we're going to be closer into that orange area soon. And then up north, of course, no monitors there, so no color on the map there, but we can expect to have some issues with air quality as well in the Northern Valley here today. Temperatures are a lot more comfortable outside. We're in the 50s and 60s. It's 56 in Fargo, 58 in Grand Forks, and 48, the 140-degree temperature in Langdon right now. So here's a look at our planner for today. No more 90s in the forecast for now. We're looking at a high of about 84 degrees in Fargo. Some places staying in the 70s today. So it's going to be warm, but not hot and on the hazy side. This morning, stepping out the door, temperatures will be climbing at noon for your lunch break, more into the 70s, some 80s into the afternoon again for some of us. Not everybody gets there with that wind out of the north, just kind of driving in that smoke for today. So unfortunately, dealing with that today and even into your Friday. And that's our one chance for some storms. The weekend looking pretty quiet at this point.
Okay, lots to track, lots to follow. Thank you, Lisa. An embattled Fargo bar could be headed for another management issue. At yesterday's Liquor Control Board meeting, Fargo Police Chief Dave Cebulski said on the 4th of July, officers went to the Gorka restaurant where an after-hours party was being held. Gorka is a closed restaurant and does not have an active liquor license. The chief says a large crowd was trying to get in and no one would identify themselves.
And at one point, an individual identifying himself as the manager, Kwame Omani, approached the officers and told them that he was the manager and that they had no right to enter and refused entry.
Now, Omani is also the newly named general manager of the Africa nightclub. The chief says after around 75 people left Gorka, police entered the closed restaurant and found hard liquor. The case has bounced back and forth between the state's attorney and the city attorney. For Omani, what's decided may have an impact on his new position with the Africa nightclub. Old Broadway was also one of 12 bars discussed before the Liquor Control Board. Just a few weeks ago, this video surfaced of a fight outside the OB. It involved a bar employee. The Fargo police chief says since management worked so well with investigators on the matter, no action will be taken. Fargo police say people's perception that downtown Fargo is riddled with crime is not true. But they do say crime is up in one part of downtown, and that's near Broadway and 4th Avenue North. Staff at the City of Fargo's Harm Reduction Center are working to help the police department with the people that officers most often deal with downtown, responding to those in mental health crisis or with substance abuse issues and bringing them to their facilities.
Chances are, if my staff weren't doing that, law enforcement would end up dealing with them later in the day anyways. So trying to take that pressure off the department so that they can respond to the more important issues and not be dealing with something that really isn't a police issue.
Fargo PD says on top of the 3 downtown officers who already walk up and down the streets every day, more officers will be patrolling in and around the area, specifically in those crime hotspots in the coming days and weeks. There was another tribute to a fallen Minnesota police officer as dozens of police and fire department vehicles escorted the body of Red Lake officer Ryan Bilkey to a funeral home in Bemidji. Community members had also pulled over and some were holding American flags as the procession passed. Now, David Donnell Jr. is charged with the shooting. Authorities say he was inside his home in Redby on Tuesday when 5 officers, including Bilkey, responded to a report of a suicidal man. When police kicked in the door, Donnell allegedly started shooting at them. Bilkey was hit. Donnell was arrested a short time later. Court documents say Donnell not only admitted to the murder, but also apologized. Officer Bilkey was a 6-year veteran of the Red Lake Police Department. The woman accused of dragging a North Dakota State trooper with her vehicle earlier this week is now charged with 5 felonies. Court documents say 35-year-old Amanda Levy of Jamestown was seen driving recklessly on I-94. When troopers got to her, they say she had passed out in a vehicle at a rest stop. Troopers say she refused to get out of the car, then put her car in reverse and dragged the trooper before he was able to get the car in park. 2 people who saw it happen helped the trooper take Levy into custody. The officer's foot was broken when he was dragged. Here's a traffic alert for drivers in Fargo. There's a lane closure today on South University Drive between 14th and 15th Avenues. It's needed for traffic signal repair work. It's expected to be in place for just the day. Bring your empty stomach because it's going to be a great day to eat some of that fair food out at the Becker County Fair. And we're also checking out the carnival rides that are up and running. The Valley Today's Brian Sherrod joins us live from the fairgrounds with more. Good morning, Brian.
And good morning, Lisa. You can never go wrong with fair food and fun rides, especially the Ferris wheel. It's fun for everyone. Your parents can ride with you. If you're a young kid, you can ride with them. I mean, it's just a fun ride to go on when it comes to just being in one loop-de-loop area. And if you decided you want to just try some of the food, you can head out to the sweet shop. There's apples, nachos, ice cream cones. I mean, so many things to enjoy when it comes to just that delicious option, especially when it's full of flavors. And you can never go wrong with good flavors. Now, don't have them together so quickly, but the fair is running from now to Saturday. Fairgrounds at the junction of Rossman Avenue. Each day is offering different specials for armbands. There's a food pantry item and $5. Back to you.
All right, we're starting to lose connection there with Brian, but all of the details are online. You can find them at valleynewslive.com. And remember, today is Miracle Treat Day at the Downtown Moorhead DQ. Proceeds from all sales of blizzards will be donated to the Children's Miracle Network, benefiting Sanford Children's Hospital. Let's get our answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. Today's question: 2% of people say they have never washed this. This is kind of gross, but the answer? A pillowcase. Good thing it's only 2% of you that said that. Remember, you can play along every weekday morning simply by heading to our Valley News Live Facebook page. The Today Show and CBS This Morning are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on. You can join us right now for more live up-to-the-minute news and weather on the Fargo CW. Have a great Thursday, everyone.